Most people die as harmless kittens when they were designed to live as roaring lions. The problem is not weakness, it's that we never awaken the monster God placed inside us. This message will show you why potential without power is wasted, why discipline creates danger, why resistance is necessary, and why purpose makes you unstoppable. By the end of this, you won't walk like a victim anymore, you'll walk like a monster. There is a dangerous version of you the world has never seen. And the tragedy of life is not death. The tragedy is to live your whole life and never meet the person you were capable of becoming. You see, when God created you, He placed inside of you a deposit of power, creativity, and potential. But potential is not what you have done. It is what you are still capable of doing. And the truth is, most people never use even 10% of what God gave them. They live safe, they live comfortable, they live tamed. And the world never gets to see the monster that was locked inside them. You don't even know who you are yet. That's the shocking truth. You think you know yourself, but what you have seen so far is only a fraction, a shadow, a glimpse of what God placed inside of you. And that is why life feels empty for so many people. Because deep in their hearts, they can sense there is more. They know they were designed to do something great, but they've never seen it come out. Potential is a dangerous word. It is one of the most misunderstood gifts God ever gave humanity. When I say potential, I'm not talking about what you've achieved. I'm not talking about your job, your bank account, your degree, or your reputation. No, potential is what you still haven't done. It is the power you have not yet released. It is the songs never sung, the books never written, the businesses never started, the inventions never created, the lives never touched. And the tragedy of life is not that we die. It is that we die with our potential still locked inside of us. Every cemetery is filled with books that were never written, businesses that were never started, dreams that were never pursued. People lived and died as harmless kittens when God designed them to live as roaring lions. That's why I call it a monster. Because when your true potential wakes up, it is not polite, it is not small, it is not comfortable, it is powerful, it is intimidating, it is dangerous to mediocrity. Let me tell you something, God never designed you to be average. Average is an insult to your Creator. Average says, God, you made a mistake when you made me. You were not born to fit in. You were not born to just pay bills, survive, and then die. You were born to release something the earth has never seen before. You are carrying an assignment, a solution, a gift that was hidden inside of you before you were even in your mother's womb. And the question is not whether you have it. The question is whether you will unlock it. Think about a seed. You look at it and it looks so small, so insignificant. But inside that one seed is a forest. Inside that seed are thousands of trees, thousands of fruits, millions of seeds to come. But if you keep the seed in a jar, if you keep it on a shelf, it dies small. That is exactly how most people live. They keep their seed locked up. They never let life press them, challenge them, stretch them. So they never see the forest that was hiding inside them. And the world will let you live small. The world will reward you for being tame. People will clap for you as long as you don't disturb them, as long as you don't aim higher than them, as long as you don't outgrow them. That is why if you want to awaken your potential, you cannot live for the approval of people. Because the moment you decide to become who you truly are, people will get uncomfortable. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're too ambitious. They'll say you're arrogant. But what they are really saying is, you are showing me the parts of myself I refuse to awaken. Potential is always bigger than your environment. That is why God had to tell Abraham, leave your father's house, your country, and go to a place I will show you. Why? Because the environment you stay in can limit the monster inside you. If you stay where people think small, you'll shrink. If you stay where people fear risk, you'll settle. If you stay around those who are comfortable, you will die comfortable. But God did not create you to die comfortable. He created you to die empty. So many of you are living safe, but safe is the enemy of destiny. Safe is where potential goes to sleep. You've been given ideas, visions, dreams, but you're too afraid of failure, too afraid of judgment, too afraid of rejection to act on them. But let me tell you something, powerful potential only comes alive under pressure. The monster inside of you does not show up when life is easy. It shows up when you are pushed to the edge, when the odds are against you, when you have no choice but to grow or collapse. That's why God allows difficulties in your life. It's not because He doesn't love you. It's because He knows the seed inside you needs soil. And soil is dark, dirty, and hidden. But when that seed is buried, when it is pressed down, when it is surrounded by weight, that is when the life inside it begins to break open. That's when the monster starts to wake up. And I'm telling you today, you are sitting on power you haven't seen yet. You are sitting on creativity, leadership, wisdom, and influence that has never been revealed. The business you are afraid to start could change your family for generations. The book you are procrastinating to write could heal someone's heart. The vision you keep postponing could shift a nation. But you will never know until you unleash it. You are more dangerous than you think. You are more gifted than you think. You are more capable than you think. The problem is not weakness. The problem is sleep. And until you decide to wake up the monster inside, you will always live beneath your assignment potential. Without discipline is wasted energy. That's the problem with so many people. They know they have gifts, they know they have talents, they know they have dreams, but they lack the structure to bring it out. Discipline is the cage that shapes the monster. Discipline is what keeps power under control. Without it, you are just a loose cannon, impressive for a moment, but destructive in the end. Talent will impress people, but discipline will outlast talent. Have you ever noticed that the most talented people are not always the ones who succeed? In every field, sports, business, music, leadership, it is not the one with the most talent who dominates, but the one with the most discipline. Because talent is a gift, but discipline is a decision. And every day you wake up, you are given the choice, will I let my monster sleep or will I train it? Discipline is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not the applause on the stage. It's the lonely mornings when you wake up before the sun. It's the nights when you keep studying while everyone else is asleep. It's the consistent habits that nobody sees but everybody feels. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Because the truth is, everybody wants greatness, but very few are willing to pay the price of routine. You see, greatness is not one big decision. It is thousands of small decisions made consistently. People look at someone successful and think, wow, they just became great overnight. But there is no such thing as overnight success. What looks like overnight success is really years of hidden discipline. Every champion you admire was training when no one was watching. Every leader you respect was sacrificing when no one was clapping. That is the monster of discipline. It does not ask for applause. It does not wait for permission. It does not need motivation. It just shows up daily and trains. God himself is a God of order and discipline. Look at creation. Everything functions by law, by timing, by consistency. The sun rises and sets without fail. The seasons rotate without delay. Even the earth rotates on its axis with discipline. And if God's universe runs on discipline, how can you expect to fulfill your purpose without it? Potential without discipline is chaos. But potential with discipline becomes destiny. The problem with many of us is that we wait for motivation. We wait to feel inspired before we act. But let me tell you, discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is decision. You may not feel like getting up early. You may not feel like working on your vision after a long day. You may not feel like practicing when you're tired. But discipline says, feelings don't decide my future, my habits do. Discipline is what makes you dangerous because it makes you consistent. Anybody can be good once. Anybody can be excellent for a week. But only discipline can make you great for a lifetime. And that is why I call it the monster of discipline. It turns you into someone who cannot be stopped, someone who keeps coming, someone who becomes too consistent to be ignored. Even the enemy respects discipline. That is why the devil doesn't fear your talent. He fears your consistency, because he knows that a disciplined man or woman cannot be bought, cannot be distracted, cannot be broken easily. When you are disciplined, storms can come, opposition can rise, critics can speak, but you still show up, you still move forward, you still grow stronger. Think about Daniel in the Bible. He was not powerful because he prayed once. He was powerful because he prayed 3 times a day without fail. Even when they threatened him, even when they threw him in the lion's den, he did not stop. That is the power of discipline. It turns ordinary men into extraordinary leaders. It turns ordinary habits into unstoppable results. But here's the reality: discipline will make you unpopular, because when you start living by discipline, you start separating yourself. Your friends will want to party, but you'll be working. Your peers will want to waste time, but you'll be investing it. People will call you boring, obsessed, even extreme. But let them talk, because the same people who laugh at your discipline today will one day be clapping for your results tomorrow. Discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. Every habit you form is sharpening your sword. Every routine you keep is strengthening your spirit. Every sacrifice you make is building your future. The monster of discipline is not about killing your joy. It's about unlocking your destiny. Because when discipline and potential meet, the result is greatness that cannot be denied. So hear me clearly, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for someone to push you. Make the decision to discipline your life. Train your mind, your body, your habits. Because when the monster of discipline is awakened inside you, you stop being ordinary. You stop being predictable. You become dangerous. Every time resistance shows up in your life, you have two choices. You can complain, cry, and run from it, or you can use it to become stronger. Difference between weak people and strong people is not that one has resistance and the other doesn't. No, everybody faces resistance. The difference is that strong people have learned to turn resistance into fuel. Weak people allow resistance to stop them, but strong people allow resistance to shape them. You see, resistance is not your enemy. It is your gymnasium. It is the place where your potential is trained, stretched, and exposed. The monster inside of you does not grow in comfort. It does not wake up when life is easy. It only comes alive when it feels pressure. That is why some of the most powerful people you admire are not those who had an easy life. They are those who had to fight, those who had to struggle, those who had to survive storms. The resistance they faced became the reason their strength was revealed. Think about it like this. If you go to the gym and you only lift light weights, you will not grow. You can go every day, you can show up faithfully, but if there is no resistance, there is no growth. What makes the muscle expand is the weight, the pressure, the strain, and life works the same way. If you never face challenges, if you never have setbacks, if you never feel pressure, then your potential stays small. But when you are forced to carry something heavy, when life throws weight on your shoulders, when people oppose you, when doors close in your face, that is when your inner monster begins to grow. That's why I say resistance is a gift. I know it doesn't feel like it when you're in it, when people betray you, when opportunities are taken away, when things don't go according to plan, it feels painful. But pain is proof that you are growing. Pain is evidence that something is being stretched inside of you. Nothing grows without resistance. Even a seed must resist the soil to break open. Even an eagle must resist the wind to soar. Even a diamond must resist fire and pressure to shine. God allows resistance because He knows what He put inside of you. He knows that without pressure, you will never tap into your true strength. Some of you are praying for God to remove your problems, but what you don't understand is that the problem is what's producing your power. If David never faced Goliath, he would have just been another shepherd boy. It was resistance that revealed his destiny. If Joseph never faced betrayal, prison, and false accusations, he would have just been another dreamer. It was resistance that turned him into a ruler. And if Jesus himself did not face resistance from the cross, there would be no redemption for mankind. Resistance is not an accident. It is a divine setup for greatness. The danger is that most people misinterpret resistance. They see opposition as a sign they should quit. They think difficulty means they are on the wrong path. But often resistance is the greatest confirmation that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. If you were not carrying something powerful, nobody would try to stop you. If your dream was not dangerous, the enemy would not attack it. The size of your resistance is often a mirror of the size of your destiny. And let me tell you something important. Resistance will always expose your character. When pressure comes, it reveals who you really are. Anybody can smile when life is easy. Anybody can clap their hands when the money is flowing and the opportunities are coming. But what do you do when doors close? What do you do when people walk away? What do you do when you are left alone? Resistance reveals whether you are truly disciplined, truly focused, truly committed to the vision God gave you. That is why you must stop running from resistance. Stop praying for an easy life. Stop asking God to make things smooth. Instead, start asking Him to make you strong. Because the monster of resistance is not about making your life comfortable. It is about making you powerful. It teaches you to adapt, to fight, to persevere, to stand when others fall. And once you have faced resistance and survived, nothing can scare you again. Some of you right now are in the middle of the greatest resistance of your life. You feel like everything is against you. Your finances, your relationships, your health, your opportunities. But I want you to hear me clearly. This is not the end of you. This is the making of you. You are in the gym of destiny. You are lifting the weights that will shape your spirit. You are being trained for the next level of greatness. And if you refuse to quit, if you refuse to surrender, if you refuse to let resistance break you, then resistance will build you. Resistance is not the enemy of your monster. Resistance is the trainer of your monster. Every time you push against it, every time you endure it, every time you rise above it, the monster inside grows stronger, sharper, more dangerous. And the day will come when the very thing that tried to stop you will have to testify that it could not break you. Power without purpose is dangerous. A monster without direction will destroy itself and everything around it. That is why the greatest question in life is not, how powerful am I? But, why was I born? Because when you discover why you exist, your power becomes focused. And when your power is focused, you become unstoppable. Purpose is the reason behind your existence. It is the why that makes sense of your what. It is the compass that directs the monster within you. Without purpose, life is just motion without meaning. Without purpose, you can be busy but never effective, talented but never impactful, successful but never fulfilled. The tragedy of life is not failing, it is succeeding at the wrong thing. There are people who spend their entire lives climbing the ladder of success only to reach the top and discover the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. They had energy, they had ability, they had potential, but they lacked purpose. And when you live without purpose, your power becomes destructive. Think about fire. Fire is powerful, but when it is not controlled, it burns down houses. But when it is directed into an engine, it moves cities. Your gift is the same way. Without purpose, it can destroy you. With purpose, it will transform the world. This is why God never created anyone without purpose. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, he says, I knew you. That means you were born with intention. You are not an accident. You are not random. You are not here to just exist. You were born to solve a problem, to meet a need, carry a vision that no one else on earth can carry. And the moment you discover that, you stop wasting time. You stop living small. You stop allowing people to define who you are. Because once you know your why, you cannot be manipulated. Purpose gives you focus. When you have purpose, you don't fight every battle. Not every critic deserves your attention. Not every distraction deserves your time. When Nehemiah was building the wall, people tried to stop him, distract him, and pull him down. But he said, I am doing a great job and I cannot come down. That is what purpose sounds like. Purpose teaches you what to ignore. Purpose teaches you what to walk away from. Purpose teaches you how to use your monster wisely. You see, the most dangerous person on earth is not the one with money, not the one with weapons, not even the one with influence. The most dangerous person is the one who has discovered purpose. Because once you know why you exist, you become fearless. Death cannot stop you. Failure cannot stop you. Opposition cannot stop you. Purpose gives you a reason to endure pain, to survive storms, to resist temptation. Purpose turns ordinary men into extraordinary leaders. Look at Moses. He was a murderer, a fugitive, a man running from his past. But when he discovered purpose, he became a deliverer of a nation. Look at Esther. She was an orphan living unnoticed. But when she discovered purpose, she stood before a king and saved her people. Look at Paul. He was a persecutor, destroying the church. But when he discovered purpose, he wrote letters that still shape the world today. What changed? Not their talent, not their strength, but their discovery of purpose. That is why the enemy fights your identity so hard, because if he can keep you ignorant of who you are and why you exist, he doesn't need to stop you. You'll stop yourself. But once you know your purpose, you become a weapon in the hands of God. You stop being passive. You stop apologizing for your calling. You stop living safe. Purpose gives your monster assignment. Some of you are frustrated right now because you are living without direction. You are working hard but feeling empty. You are running fast but going nowhere. That is what happens when power is disconnected from purpose. You must stop and ask the question, why was I born? What problem was I created to solve? What gift was I designed to release into the world? When you answer that, clarity will come. Purpose is not something you invent. It is something you discover. It is not outside of you. It is inside of you. God already placed it there. That is why you feel restless when you are not walking in it. That is why you feel dissatisfied even when you achieve things. That is why success without purpose still feels empty, because nothing fulfills you except becoming who you were born to be. And when you finally align your potential, your discipline, your resistance with your purpose, the monster inside of you becomes holy, powerful, and unstoppable. You stop living by chance and you start living by design. You stop surviving and you start influencing. You stop existing and you start fulfilling destiny, because purpose is the key that unlocks the monster of destiny within you. So hear me today, you were not born to be average. You were not born to live safe, tame, and ordinary. You were born to disturb the earth with the greatness God hid inside of you. And everything we've talked about, your potential, your discipline, your resistance, and your purpose, are not four separate things. They are one divine design. Potential is what you carry. Discipline is how you train it. Resistance is what awakens it. And purpose is where you aim it. Put them together, and you are no longer a victim of life. You become a weapon of destiny. Stop living like a kitten when God created you to roar like a lion. Stop dying with your seed still in your hand. Stop apologizing for the monster inside of you. The world doesn't need more excuses. It doesn't need more safe people. It doesn't need more passive believers. The world is crying out for men and women who will rise up, unleash their potential, endure resistance, stay disciplined, and walk on purpose. You have that calling. You have that fire. You have that assignment. Don't let the grave steal it. Don't let fear bury it. Don't let comfort kill it. Become who you were born to be. Unleash the monster within you, and let the earth see the glory of God through your life.